What is up, people? Today I will be reviewing Batman 89 coming up, you guys. Next. So people, like I promised, I will actually be getting into a whole lot of DC for you guys because all original 4 Batman films are going to be coming out in 4K Ultra HD. I am so excited, but before I get into those and while I am waiting for them to actually come in the mail, I will be reviewing all 4 films. That is what is going to be going on with the channel this week. So if you like this, make sure that you subscribe down here because you'll be getting a whole lot of it. And I do this all the time for DC and for Marvel films. I separate the movie review from the actual home release review just because I have a whole lot more to say about it. And hey, this is a very beloved film by so many people, so let me know what you think of the film down below. Just comment and let's have a discussion about it. And yes, I do not have a Batman shirt on, but I do have a DC shirt on, and I just got this in the mail in like one of those send away boxes, so I figured I would give it a shot for this review. So Batman 89 was directed by Tim Burton, and it stars Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger, and Robert Wuhl. And right off the top, I just got to tell you guys, I don't feel like you could get into more of a childhood favorite film for me other than this film. If you would have talked to me back then, I would have been like 10 out of 10 all the way. Yeah, Batman. And that is just because I loved this growing up and I love this film. This is what got me into comic books, and it just spiraled out of control from this point when I was growing up. And with age and wisdom, I'm a lot older now. I do have a newfound perspective of this film, and I will definitely be talking about the way that Batman is portrayed in this movie and how it lines up with who I perceive Batman to be today. But I will start off with the good here, and the good is just definitely this entire world that Tim Burton has created here, just from a visual standpoint. Gotham, this was shot in Pinewood Studios, and that is in England, but a lot of films are shot there, and a lot of very good looking ones. Just the production values that they have over at Pinewood are incredible, and the way that this movie looks is incredible. Just the skyline and how Tim Burton was able to adapt what Batman looked like on the page and what this looks like. It is just a just amazing, very gothic vision, and truly that is his biggest achievement here. Danny Elfman's score is iconic with this movie, and even though I do have a soft spot for Oingo Boingo, I actually really like that Danny Elfman kind of broke away from that so he could be one of my favorite composers of films, and it very much started here. I know that he had worked with Burton before on Beetlejuice, and that score is great, but at the time I had seen Beetlejuice, so this was my very first introduction at the time to Danny Elfman. And I do feel like Burton was very intimidated with the scale of this production. At the time, this was the most expensive movie ever made at $40 million. And you know, where that shows definitely is he took his friends along with him as kind of a comfort blanket. Danny Elfman had worked with him before, and he is here, along with Michael Keaton of Beetlejuice fame. Burton did Beetlejuice, and he fought for Keaton to be Batman here. And at the time, people didn't really see it. That guy that was just this bombastic character in like Johnny Dangerously, Mr. Mom, and Beetlejuice. But it is so restrained here that I feel like very much Keaton kept him as kind of a comfort blanket, somebody that he had worked with before, but it was an excellent choice. And not one that was the most obvious, really. Now, Keaton's portrayal as Bruce Wayne is different here. He is very aloof. He is a very shy and introverted guy that is a millionaire, but he comes across as a person that does not know how to quite carry himself. And it is an odd choice to play your leading character in this way, specifically if he's going to be Bruce Wayne. But I do feel like it very much fits in with Burton and who he feels like he is as a person. And then when you're talking about Keaton as Batman, the suit is amazing, and the stoic quality that Keaton brings to the performance is still great, even to this day. I love this suit, though, except during action scenes. And that is where I'm going to have my first problem. Keaton just can't move in this thing, you know? You look at it and you can just see that he can't even turn his head. And it's a problem during action scenes that really require him to be more agile, to be this Batman character that we know from the comics. You kind of have to divorce that and keep it out of your mind just to keep your sanity while watching this movie. Because between Tim Burton's aesthetic and who he perceives Batman to be and the suit, it's going to make for a very passive Batman. And it is something that today I do have a problem with. And, you know, right from the get-go, when you have the two muggers that are going after the family and their child, it just sets up the stage right there. Batman is literally going to let these people get mugged and then kind of just hang out and watch them as they count their money, and after that kind of beat them up, but not even tie them up. It's going to make for a very passive hero that, in the grand spectrum of things, in this movie doesn't do that much. He is very, very reactionary, and it's just a different take on Batman that I have to divorce myself from who I know Batman to be in other forms of media. But hey, that isn't what this movie is concerned with. In the matter of fact, we don't even get an origin story for Batman in this movie, because who they are really concerned with is the Joker. Jack Nicholson in this movie is just so hammy, it is glorious, and it might be my favorite Jack Nicholson performance. Might be. That and The Shining, it's kind of neck and neck, but this movie is like his character in The Shining, just completely unhinged from frame one. I mean, really, even before he gets dumped in the toxic liquids, he has a screw loose. And it spirals from there. And I love Jack Nicholson's performance as the Joker. It, again, will be my introduction to Jack Nicholson when I was a kid. I can't really say that this is my favorite, but I mean, it is up there with the pantheon of Jokers. And this movie just gives him so much more to do than Batman. You have this whole homicidal artist subplot that they have in this movie, where he's an artiste and he is a painter, where he paints and makes collages of these wicked and weird images. And, then you have his whole attack on commerce. This very well might be my favorite moments of this whole entire movie, where he is making those Joker commercials, and where the Smilex comes into play with the plot. I love the satirical nature in those scenes. But I just want to talk a little bit about the tone of this movie and with the perception of this movie at the time. At the time, this movie was said to be just so dark and such a gritty vision. It is dark like it is underlit, but it is very close to Batman 66 than most people realize. I mean, the Joker and his gags in this movie, and how he has like embroidered jean jackets or like suede leather jackets for all of his guys, and Bob, that thug that he has, and it's like on his helicopters and all of it. It's silly, and it is very damn close to Cesar Romero in my eyes. And I just don't feel like that this movie is as dark as people thought it was at the time. But I do appreciate the comedy here and what Nicholson is bringing to everything. Now, when you take that and then you add how inconsequential Vicky Vale is, Kim Basinger's character, to this movie, and I don't really feel like that 100% works. And I have taken more of a critical stance to this movie than when I first saw it as a child. But I do truly love Batman 89. And I was wrestling between an 8 and a 9 score for this. But hey, screw it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I do love this movie, but I have developed problems with it that I didn't have growing up, and it's something that I have wrestled with over the past decade or so. So I will be coming out with all 4 Batman movie reviews leading up to the 4K reviews that are going to be coming out next week. I will be on top of that. I do have a plan and a schedule that I am going to follow rigorously so that I get it all done for you guys. So, if you are excited about all of this, subscribe down here. And, as always, thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.